Okay, I have 6 o'clock. We'll call the board meeting, Port of Allyn board meeting to order, and we'll start with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to move to item number 8 on the agenda, which is the public hearing, the 2018 budget. So I will now open the public hearing for the 2018 budget. Is there any input from the public? Any input from the board?
No, we've discussed quite a bit already, and
We had a special meeting where we went through most of the items on the 2018 budget. And I will no further.
I see Jeff Carey coming in the door here. He may have something to say.
We can wait.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was just one item that was changed from last time, was carryover. No problem with that.
Hi, Jeff. We're in our public hearing for the budget. We wanted to wait before I closed it if you have anything.
I did give us, you had it on TV, so I watched your the 18th when you had the, you went over it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, nothing jumps out at me
Okay.
as,
Well, are they on the counter there?
oh, you need me to.
No, I mean, if you have any input, then we'll take it. If you don't, I'm going to close the hearing.
No, that's,
Okay.
Ken's coming.
Okay, well, I will now close the hearing.
Oh, okay.
And, all right, so moving on to consent items.
Do we need to, oh, we don't make
Got
any.
that down here.
Yeah, we don't make any resolutions
So
yet.
under consent agenda items, we have the minutes of the regular meeting, minutes of special meeting September 18th, minutes of special meetings September 25th, and the financial reports. I would entertain a motion to accept those as they were sent to us and written.
Well, give me just, okay, I'll go ahead and start. Consent items 2A, B, C, and D, of which are the regular meeting, special meeting, September 1st, regular, September 18th, special meeting, September 25th, special meeting, and the financial reports. I move that we accept these as submitted.
Motion
I'll
on the
second.
floor with a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item number 3, action items. Entertain a motion to accept A, B, C, and D.
I will move that we accept action items. General fund vouchers, $25,368.89. General fund vouchers, $1,725.61. Payroll vouchers for $14,658.96. Water fund vouchers for $225.14. I move we accept them as submitted.
A motion on the floor.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Commissioners' reports. Commissioner Scott, would you like to start?
Sure. Of course, September 1st, our port meeting. September 5th, we had the North Bay Historical Meeting / Oyster House meeting, which Dell was there too. We're progressing nicely. While I'm at that, we're going to have wine sales at the Oyster Fest this coming weekend. And so far, it's been working out well. We did the port budget meeting on the 18th, and Larry and I went to the Washington Public Ports Association environmental seminar in Vancouver, and I got to see the sports complex located in Vancouver. And I just wanted to add, I've always been for the light industrial complex, since I started, was hoping that we could do something, at least have a presence up in the north end. And then somebody mentioned to me, and I've always heard this about the Port of Bremerton being competition, and I've always defended how we need the commerce and the business, but then I thought, maybe we could be a recreational destination. So I think I'm getting more behind the sports complex. Got to get the Oyster House done first, however. But it was quite impressive and very well organized down there and looked really good. You've seen it before.
I've seen it.
Maybe we could be the recreational capital, because with our Tahuya Forest, lots of opportunities for outdoor things. I just thought that was great. Of course, the port budget meeting on the 25th, and then North Mason Community Voice Candidates Night. I attended that as well. And just FYI, this coming Thursday, there's a Department of Natural Resource Focus Group meeting at QFC Meeting Room at 7 p.m. Encourage everybody to, that does participate up for our trails to show up. And of course, I will be at the Oyster Fest this weekend on Saturday. There we go.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
Okay. I as well went to the 3 port meetings. I did go to the candidates forum. We did have one of our candidates there. The other one had a prior engagement. He was unable to attend. There is a second candidates forum, Chamber of Commerce, October 17th.
I believe it's geared more as a debate than
Oh.
just a forum.
So you'll be there. Do you know if Ted Jackson will be there? Don't know. Do you think he knows about it?
I can make sure he
I'm
does.
sure he does, but yeah. The only matter of interest that I have from EDC is Lynn Longin. The director of the EDC has resigned, and they put together a selection committee to look for her replacement in the near future. The information that I got from James Thomas was it was going to be likely a longer search than last time. So they're going to search high and low for a new EDC director. And that's it for me. Commissioners, executive directors report.
All right, first aid certification. We all received our first aid certifications for CPR, AED, and basic first aid on September 15th by taking the recertification class. We had enough people here to have them come do it, so and we all passed. Criminalization of the marina rules. I'm working with an attorney at Steve DiGiulio's office to finish up the final draft of everything for the Mason County Commissioners, and we'll have it to them by the end of this week. Then I'll schedule a meeting with them, get this on their agenda. Also, as you know, this specific situation was the subject of Frank Schmelik's column in a recent edition of the WPPA Manifest newsletter, as it was in the one on Friday. Went into a little more detail. I passed that column on to each of the county commissioners as well, received notes from Kevin and Terry thanking me as it answered their questions about why we're seeking this. Budget, I made the final edits to the budget document about an hour ago, so it's ready for tonight's meeting and vote. Seymour settlement, the second installment of the settlement was due on September 30th. When it didn't arrive, I called Jill Seymour thinking perhaps a date had slipped by them. She told me they had sent a check to their attorney in August for the entire amount due. I called Joe Brogan, asked him about it. He said they received the check from Seymour's attorney last week, said they were processing the reconveyance paperwork and would send us a check for the difference between those fees and their fees for doing that work, and that we should have the check in hand within the next 10 to 15 days. So I've taken the $5,500 settlement installment out of the 2018 budget and added $15,000 to our 2017 cash carryover. The amount of the check was a little over $16,000, but by the time our fees are deducted, which Joe thought would be a few $100s, I thought $15,000 was a safe number to use. It'll actually be higher than that, but you know me. Revenue low, expenses high. BIAS software upgrade. In spite of BIAS insisting we would be doing all the training remotely, it turns out that isn't the case. We have to go to Spokane. October 10th to 12th, learn the payroll and financials, utility billing, grant management, and job costing modules. There's no cost for the training. Judy is going along with Leanne and I. Conversion date will be January 1st, 2018, so we're on QuickBooks to the year's end. Comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements, a discussion on this is on your agenda tonight. In talking with RCO, they want us to have some major public process and outreach, not just public hearings, but open houses and more to gather citizen input, especially about projects we'll be looking to them to get grants for before submitting them. RV parking at the North Shore. We've had a couple of requests from RV owners interested in parking across from the North Shore boat launch. As directed at the last meeting, I reached out to several of the neighbors near, and this is a no-go from their perspective. In the spirit of being good neighbors, I suggest we take a pass on this. Trail project, I haven't heard any more from Pat McCullough of Engineering Services Associates about this, so until I do, I don't see any point in continuing to mention it every meeting. Inventory of assets, we're still working on putting together a complete inventory list of all the property and equipment we own, hoping to have this completed by the end of October. Skateboard park, as directed, I contacted the representative from the Beards Cove Owners Association and made it clear that if we built this facility, the port would turn over ownership of it, along with all maintenance responsibility and all other potential liabilities to them. Excuse me. They're good with that. Water system issues. We're getting close to submission on this. We've provided Northwest Water Systems with everything they've asked for. And I sent a draft of the customer service policies and procedures manual to Northwest Water Systems and to our system manager, Steve Holloway. I asked both of them to redline it for errors and other potential issues, hoping for their responses shortly so I can make the final edits. I did receive the redline version along with some suggestions from Northwest Water Systems today. I've also prompted Steve Holloway about getting his to me so we can get this submitted before November 1st. So unless there's something we're not aware of, still working out there and lurking out there in the weeds, we should be ready to submit this shortly. Looking forward to getting this off my plate. Still haven't heard anything more about our franchise agreement with Mason County that's up for renewal, but I will reach out to them this week. Also obtained the updated evidence of coverage from Endurance. Then the county's supposed to send us their form. So we're good to go for the moment. I'm hoping to know more when I talk to them. Renting out the small office. We're promoting this heavily on Facebook, and I've made the chamber and the EDC aware of it, and I've asked them to promote it as well. The EDC is also putting it in their Zoom prospector database for us. We've had some inquiries, but no bookings yet. Power and water at the Allyn Marina. I've begun working on the capital budget request paperwork for this. However, the request won't go in the 2017 capital budget, which is already set, but on hold for a legislative resolution to the Hearst situation, but in the 2018 version. And if nothing else, we can still use all this information we've compiled to apply for a Tier 1 grant in the 2018 RCO grant cycle. Broadband issue. I attended the recent WPPA Broadband Summit at the Port of Seattle, and one of the discussion topics was ports as a last mile retail provider. PUD 3's intention is to significantly expand its broadband input. And since you all had indicated a willingness to explore this a year or so ago, I think we should at least look into the feasibility of this from our perspective. Joel Meyer told me he would pass our interest on this on to Justin Holsgrove, who's the person in charge of the initiative. I hadn't heard anything from him, so at the candidate forum last week, I mentioned it to PUD Commissioner Tom Farmer, who said he'd put a bug in his ear. We talked today, right after I sent you the updated documents. So I'm meeting with Justin, Joel Meyer, and the head of their broadband program on the 24th. Wayfinding signs. Commissioner Cooper asked me to coordinate this with Dr. Brian Peterson, who's handling this community project. I spoke with him, told him our name needed to be prominent on the sign. Said he understood, would put the sign maker in touch with me when he got to his office and got his number. I'm still waiting to hear back from the sign maker. I'll reach out to Brian again this week about that. Public record software. While we continue in the holding pattern on this for the moment, I have made contact with a potential vendor that may be able to help within our budget. More on this as it moves forward. Reached out to a number of people about Coder Dojo, and the response has been pretty positive. The only holdup now is our IT guy, Charles Keating, who runs that program. He was seriously injured in an accident recently. He may not be able to help us get this off the ground until he recovers a little more. Talked to him on Friday, and he's doing well, but slowly. So WPPA meeting dates by software training is October 10th to 12th in Spokane. Small Ports meeting, October 25th, 27th in Leavenworth. And annual meeting, November 15th to 17th in Seattle. And that's my report.
Thanks, Larry. Travis, security report?
Okay, pretty quiet. We've had a few little issues. Our guy that we tried to trespass last month eventually finally made his way to this part of the bay rather than the North Shore, and then found out real quickly when he came knocking on the door here, was it last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came knocking on the door, and Larry's like, he called me up and he's like, that guy's here. So Larry went ahead and served him. So that worked out great. So now he knows that he's not allowed to be here, and it's official. So the very next day, Don noticed that he was parking his kayak down there at the ice cream park. And the day before that, it was mentioned to Larry that he had permission to park down there. But going back to that first day when he was served, I went ahead and went and talked to the manager at the ice cream shop. And she's like, well, I don't know anything about that, but let me talk to the owner. And she got back to me about 4 hours later and said that the owner never gave him permission to park his kayak there.
He's got a boat moored out in the bay?
He doesn't currently. He's already left. He left a couple of days, or I think it was, 2 days after he was served. So, and he hasn't been at the North Shore, so he's probably in Dewado or anywhere in between at this point. But he isn't a violent guy, but he's definitely a nuisance. A little bit more activity in the park, from a little bit of transient activity I've been pushing them around a little bit. They don't even argue, they just leave. So it's getting colder, so that's becoming more of an issue. But the activity in the park in general, both North Shore and here, has slowed down to a crawl.
Great. Thanks, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
Move on to, we've already done the public hearing.
No old business. I can't think of
No
anything.
old business. Now we're gonna move on to new business and discussion and possible adoption of the 2018 budget, including a resolution to levy an allowable 1% increase in property tax collections. So, do we have any discussions on the budget or the levy increase?
Need two motions.
Okay. We've got those in our packet.
Yeah, both resolutions are there.
Yeah.
Probably
I can
read
go
them.
ahead and propose the resolution number 386. Be it resolved by the Commissioners of the Port of Allyn as follows, whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Port of Allyn have met and considered the proposed budget for the 2018 calendar year. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners, after a public hearing and duly considering all relevant evidence and testimony presented, hereby resolves to adopt the budget for the 2018 calendar year as proposed and presented. So I move that we accept this resolution as read.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolution number
Go ahead.
387.
And this we usually do every year. This is a requirement. Ordinance resolution number 387 by way of RCW 8455-120. This is whereas the Port of Allyn has met and considered the budget for the calendar year 2018, and whereas the district's actual levy amount from the previous year was $504.77, and whereas the population of this district is less than 10,000, and now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the taxing district that an increase in the regular property tax levy is hereby authorized for the levy to be collected in the 2018 tax year. The dollar amount of the increase over the actual levy amount from the previous year shall be $4,524.63, which is a percentage of increase of 1% from the previous year. This increase is exclusive of additional revenue resulting from new construction, improvements to property, newly constructed wind turbines, solar, biomass, geothermal facilities, and any increase in the value of state-assessed property, any annexations that have occurred and refunds made. So I move that we accept Resolution 387 with a 1% increase as read.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Also under new business, discussion of comprehensive scheme of harbor improvement updates.
So what have you got? What have we got?
Not what I got, it's what you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of the skate
It's-
park
it-
kind of sneaked up on us, and all of a sudden we were working on something that wasn't in our scheme, and I thought, well, maybe it's a good time to
Yeah.
either add it to it or take something out,
Right.
or it's just,
Well, I've got to submit this to RCO by March 1st. So what I wanted to do is have you guys, talk about it, think about what you might want to do that I can add to it. If there was anything from last year we want to take out, we can, or, we can reprioritize or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at it again. Skate park, I think we need to look at that a little more. I mean, it's going to be an expensive project. So,
It's not going to be that expensive, I don't think, in the overall scheme of things.
and
but
it's new for us, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And it wasn't in there from last year.
how much, do you have estimates?
You do
Not
have to be
yet.
a little careful. Skate parks are known to fail real fast. Like,
Yeah.
and it's very expensive for municipalities like Shelton and stuff. They've a lot of money into their skate park. Very
True.
little use.
And if we build it, I mean, again, even though Beards Cove would take it over, still it's a big expense, but I'm willing to discuss it some more, but
Still, they may
think let's
not,
wait.
when they find out cost of keeping on up,
yeah.
they may not want it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They think
Well,
they
and
do
we-
now, but,
We had some people in here from Beards Cove that didn't want it.
yeah.
Community members, not the homeowners association.
You'll find that.
Yeah.
And it may not be a good move for the port.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought what I would do is try to get some ideas on design and cost. And with the budget and everything else, I just haven't had time to do that.
Yep.
What
I
if
don't think we
we
need to be in a hurry.
set a workshop?
Water plan.
And I don't know that we necessarily have to do it this month, but we could
Yeah.
do a workshop
Let
on.
me get the information together and then let's set a date.
Well, and I'd like to do look at the whole scheme of
Okay.
harbor improvements and find out if there's things in there that we may not be working on. So take them
Well, I
out.
think we could do that in December
And I know there's,
or January.
Yeah.
yeah, and even from your report, there's some other things that have come up that we might be interested in and put them in our scheme. And it's just time to update it. And if we want to do it before January, we certainly can, because you need to have it.
We
I have
probably
to have it to
should.
RCO by March 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we should try to have it maybe.
And
at
you've got
the
to,
start.
you all have to approve it before then.
Right.
Do you guys want to meet in
You would have to
October?
approve it in February.
I can't October, I'm really pretty
Yeah,
jammed.
let's
There's a
let's
lot
talk
of
about it in
meetings.
November.
Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe
November.
set it for a November workshop.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that
I
makes
think
sense.
so.
Any other new business?
I can't think of anything. We're slowly, old business, I mean, we're slowly moving along with the Oyster House, so that's exciting. Have
What's the
somebody
wine
who's-
sales?
Good. We're going to be at Oyster Fest this coming Saturday, and there'll be the wine sales. We're selling it to Oyster Fest and then at a discount, and then the North Bay will get all the funds from that. And then we have somebody who's going to meet Wednesday. It's some volunteers that are going to redo the windows.
That's nice.
So that's exciting. So that's great.
Somebody in our office?
I don't know, it sounded like it.
Ghost
Hopefully.
up there.
Oh. Okay, so anyway, that's good.
Good. No other new business, we'll move on to public comment. Jeff?
Hi, Commissioners. Ken Van Buskirk from Belfair. I came in a couple minutes late, but I see on your agenda the public hearing for the budget was
Yes.
this evening. When did you have that?
Right at the beginning of the meeting.
Oh, okay. And that was at 6 o'clock?
Yes. After the flag salute.
Okay, well, sorry I missed it, I guess. And you approved a 1% property tax increase. Was that discussed at the budget hearing?
We did ask for public comment.
Was there any public comment
No,
about the
Jeff
budget?
didn't really have anything to say, and,
Was Jeff here?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm sorry I missed it. In any case, I would have hoped to comment, but in any case, I did hear your discussion about the comprehensive scheme, and I just wondered if the port plans to comment on the county's comprehensive plan that they're updating, both the Belfair 2003 sub-area plan and your own comprehensive plan speak to that regional sports complex you were talking about. But the county's comprehensive plan, the only place they talk about it is in that sub-area plan. So I would hope that the port would weigh in on that comprehensive plan update, maybe tell them about what's in your comprehensive scheme.
When are they gonna get that done? Is it done? I know
It's
that they
in the
passed
draft
something
form right now, and
today,
they're going to have some public hearing on it
Okay.
very soon.
Cause I haven't had a chance to look.
Again, I'm sorry I missed the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other, Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff Carey. A couple quick things. If anything, this kind of goes back to the comp plan of the counties, but also their budget. But if you got anything that you're trying to do with the county the next year or two, and it requires their funds, you're gonna have to be on your toes, because it looks a little tight from what they've laid out and what they're looking at. And a few of the meetings I've, watched the video clips on and see where they're trying to pull the funds from. But there was a project, there was actually two projects, one that the port was somewhat involved with in the recreational side, which one was the North Bay Trail it was going to start here in the park
Yeah,
and run to Coulter Creek. So that's, I don't know where that is, or how much the port was going to be involved with that or not, but I know there was a lot of talk, at least in the stuff that affected the port directly years ago. So, but I don't know, again, whether the county's going to, park that for a while, or just what.
it's kind of been parked.
No pun intended. But, it's on their list of different things, and the county did acquire quite a few more acres up there than originally. They acquired Coulter Creek, that area a number of years ago, in the tidelands, but then they also picked up another 58 acres, a little bit of it on the water side of the highway, and then a bunch on the upland side, right when you get in that, if you're going west towards here, as soon as you come through that tight turn where one person's property ends and you go right through that tight portion, that's where it begins. And there's about 58 acres in there that the county picked up.
They didn't do that recently, did they?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Do you know when?
I want to say that the final paperwork off my top of the head was this year,
Oh,
2017.
well, good, thank you. Didn't realize that.
So,
Okay,
so that is a county piece that's there. And
sure.
so I'm just saying, these were things we talked about ages ago, and you bring up the issue about the skateboard park. Personally, I'm a little always concerned on some of those, whether it's an in vogue type thing, and then 10 years from now it's not. Whereas trails, they do go up and down, obviously in their usage, but generally they're not in vogue or out of vogue. They go to a place and people use them eventually. So if I had to, if the board's helping one way, looking into those kind of things, and I realize they got something coming, from
RCO.
no, the fellow that is doing the trail plan.
Oh, ESA,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
right,
So anyway, just
yeah.
my 2 bits is if we're going to do something on the recreational side, if you are going to do that, then I'd rather see it something that looks a little longer term than maybe the other, even though it might have been the end thing. Because we've talked about, it seems like for quite a few years, and it just seems like to me it's, maybe it's just from me, but it seems like it's fading in and out of whether it's really needed or not.
Yeah.
So, and other than that, I can hardly wait till you guys get your plan done, on your water plan.
Yeah,
So
no
he and I
kidding.
can start talking.
You don't want it done as bad as we do.
Well, I do, in a different way. Anyway,
Thank
so,
you.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Anybody else? All right, if no other public comment. I would move for continuance or adjournment.
Boy, that's one of the quickest we've ever
And we
had.
don't, we are not gonna have a second meeting this month. I just can't think of anything we need to do, right?
We have a small ports seminar anyway that's
Yeah,
coming
that's
up,
right,
so. I don't, yeah, and the bias training, so I know I
Be busy
wouldn't even
with-
have
yeah,
time.
that's fine. I
Because
just
I'm gonna
wanna-
go to both of those.
I don't know if we need any.
Yeah, well then, with that,
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, meeting is adjourned.
We gotta sign all these things.
Oh, yeah, we